So the next thing that we are going to do, we are going to register some size, some defined size of these images, which we want to appear into these two individual pages. Let's head back to our project and let's head back to functions.php. In the first case, we need to define a definite size here. So we are making usage of this add image size. Now we can see that there are three individual parameters. The first one is the name of the string, the second one is the width. So in the first place, we need to put a definite ID of the image. So we are naming it as thumbnail view. In the next case, we need to put an integer defining the width of that individual image. So we are putting it to 100. In the similar manner, we are defining the height of that individual image. So we are making it as 100 again. And this is the last parameter which practically defines whether our image, it should be cropped or it should be scaled. So if we set the parameter as a boolean and if we set it as a true, then the image will be positioned into the page defining that individual size, the definite size, cropping into the central position. But if we want to make something additional like cropping the images along the x-axis and the y-axis, then all we need to do, we need to use some definite array. We will be definitely observing the difference here. First of all, let's use the boolean true. So there it goes. Put the semicolon at the end. In the similar manner, just copy this thing and paste it below. Here we are putting some different name here like this banner view, and we are mentioning that the width should be 1000 pixels, the height of the image should be 300, and it should be cropped along the central position. Now all we need to do, we need to use this individual ID that we have created. So we are copying it, we are getting back to the pages where we want it to display, and here we will be using this individual ID here, which is thumbnail view, which is the first size of 100 pixels by 100 pixels that we have defined while registering the image size into our project. We are practically inside a single.php, so that is why we need to get back to home here, and we can see that already the defined size has come into play. But this is not the proper display as we can expect. So in this respect, I would like to say that sometimes it requires a second chance for the WordPress to reload all those images into its proper defined sizes. So let's head back to the admin dashboard panel, and in the first place we are removing the featured image. Update. Let's do the updation here. We don't have currently any featured image for this individual post, and in this case all we are going to do, let's set the featured image again, choose this image, delete it permanently, and we need to re-upload the same image into our project. So we are re-uploading it, and now we are setting it as a featured image. So the featured image is now set for the same post that we had created earlier. Update. Now if we get back to our project and reload, we can see that this is the 100 pixels by 100 pixels display that we have created earlier. In the similar fashion, if we head back to this single.php, this is the page that is controlling the display of each individual posts. And we have already activated the invocation of the featured image that we have enabled for each and every post. So if there is a featured image for an individual post, it should be displayed right over here If there isn't any, then nothing, no image will be displayed in this particular case. So this is the post thumbnail here, and here all we are going to do, we are going to use the same name that we had created earlier. This is the banner view. If we head back to functions.php, this is the banner view. And this is the ID that we have created in this respect. Press Ctrl S, get back to our project and reload. And now if we head back to this individual post, we can see that our image is now rescaled and positioned into the similar order that we have created. We have defined into our functions.php. This is the banner view ID, and this is the 1000 by 300 pixels image dimension. And we have set the hard cropping here as true. So there will be a cropping into the centered position. Now here comes another thing. What if we wish that we will be resizing our image? We will be not resizing practically. We will be recropping our image into something else, like instead of top left, we want to show our image as the bottom right condition. So in that particular case, all we need to do, we need to make usage of the second option that we had seen there. It is an array which defines the X crop position, which might be for say right, left, center, anything else, and the next thing will be the Y cropping position, which should be top, bottom, or center. So we are meaning here this right and bottom thing. So we are defining the X crop position as right, and again we are defining the Y crop position as bottom. There it goes. Press Ctrl S. Once again, if we get back to our project and reload, we won't be noticing any difference here because we need to re-upload our images right over here. So that is why we are getting back to our project. We are removing the featured image, update, reload. The featured image is now gone. Now again set featured image, upload files. In the first case, go to media library, delete the image permanently. OK. Now head back to upload files, select files, 4.jpg, and set it as featured image, update. So now if we head back to our project and reload, now we can see that our image is now set into the bottom and right position as we had defined into our functions.php. See here, the same exact thing goes here. So this is how we may enable the featured image, and we may resize them as per need. We may hard crop them or we may soft crop them. So if instead of true, if it is a false, then it will be available into a soft crop mode and it will be scaled instead of being cropped. And on the other hand, if we use here this array, we need to define this X crop position and we need to define this Y crop position, and only then this image will be activated right over here. But now there's another problem which we'll have to face. We want to make our WordPress site as a responsive one. On the other hand, all we are doing here, we are defining some definite dimension to our images. Like we have defined the width as 1000 pixels and we had defined the height as 300 pixels. So if we now press Ctrl Shift M and scale down to a 320 by 480 pixels, we can see that this image size is way longer than the media device width which we are currently viewing. So this is going to be a problem if we make usage of an image source in order to add the featured image content into our project. Then it will be a very bad idea if we use some definite image size right over here. Instead of that, what if we use some kind of div here and we make usage of this image as the background image? Instead of invoking the featured image as an image source, if we invoke it as a background image of a particular div source, next we are going to invoke this same image as the background image of a particular div, and it is coming up shortly.